Hello, this is Jen from CCN, and I am going to teach on today how to do, if you ever seen these boards, OAC does, these boards where they paint them up and then they paint them up halfway, and then when you get to the site, then they paint them up the rest of the way, share the gospel, share about Jesus, something from the Bible. And normally I would say go to oacusa.org to get the training, but COVID, they aren't going to have any training. So first thing you want to do is you're going to get one of these so you can see how to make the letters, right? And then you want to get one of these so that you can practice making letters. You can practice making letters with either paint or just with markers, just so you get the gist of how to make them. Now you go to OAC's website and they have these things where you can just download them. It already has, like, over here is a couple pages of everything you say, and this is like the before you teach it, and that's what it looks like after you're all done teaching it. Now you can go to OAC USA and buy a bunch of stuff, and I can't seem to turn this around, so let's try this. All right, so you can buy this paint box and these paints from OAC USA. You can buy the board. You can buy this big thing from OAC. Now it does weigh a lot, but it's on wheels, and so to be able to use it, I put a board in my minivan so that I can roll it up into my minivan. I think John Reisner also sells one that is not so heavy, and so I'm going to hopefully try and get you guys to be able to see this board as I paint it. Hopefully I won't be in the way too much. All right, so the first thing you do is, so we're going to use this. This is what I'm using to create it. All right, so the first thing you do, now they say, oh, you want to do it so that you use one color and then you do another color and do another color. I'm not that good at this. So what they do is they say, okay, you put a nice border around it, and they want you to use as many colors as possible so that it's pleasing to the eye and people will be excited about putting these up. If you decide, to the guys that I go out witnessing with, they do this setup and the prep as they're out and about. And then people will stop because they want to know what's going on, because they're taking the time to prep and paint this up out there. People are like, what's going on? What are they doing? And then we talk to them as they're waiting. Now, first thing you do is you count out. Up here, you have to count out how many letters. So we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we have 2 spaces, so that would be 14. And so what we do is for each letter, I do with 3 fingers to figure it out. So we said 14. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I didn't do it long enough over here. All right. Then we go all the way across. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to make this place where we're going to have the letters at, and then we're going to let it dry to put the black stuff on it later. And apparently my paint is too watery because it's going, yay, we're going to drip everywhere. All right. I apologize. This is going to be a long video for something that should be shorter. Maybe I could figure out how to shorten it up, but I don't think so. All right. Now, then you could see on here that you have to break it up. And on one side it's broken up in half. One side is broken up in 3. And we need to do that first and make sure we leave enough room to do everything that we want to do. So first thing we're going to do now is go down the middle, and this one is like 2/3, so we're going to go do like 2/3 here, and we'll go all the way across 2/3, and then we're going to do a 2/3 up here. Awesome. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try and do all the green ones first. So first we have up here, we have a line for where the sunshine line is. What is that? The horizon line. And we're going to put some hills and cover up some of that green, my drippy drips. And there we go. We fill that all in. And later on, what we'll do is we'll outline everything. So there we go. So we have our hills, and then down at this bottom one, it says to have some green grass. I'm not sure if Jerusalem, you know, in the Bible area, they had green grass, but we'll go with it. All right. And then, let's see here, over here, it says that we have to do the green on the earth. So we'll put that on there as well. So it does like a little wobbly thing. And if it doesn't even look as good as you think it should look, when you look at it further away, it looks better than when you're up close. And so the people who are watching, who are talking or watching it, they're going to see it looks nicer. But you should try and make it look really nice. But if you're looking at it going, no, that's not any good, you'll get better at it. Now we're going to do the blue next. We're going to try and do our all blue. So we're going to do. This has some clouds and some river, and then the ocean around the water. So first we'll do the ocean. Can you see? That we'll do the ocean around our little planet. And try and make that a round thing. And we'll outline the blue, outline the green, and color that in. And however you can get to make this look nice, you go for it. Alright. Now, I think we have some little blue guys we got to put on there. I believe that those are the Jesus figures. And so we need a little Jesus guy here who's going to talk to Satan. And then we need a blue guy up here. We'll put in the black. And I actually have a thin brush and a thick brush because sometimes I just can't make the lines as thin as they want them. And so if you look on here, we have like 3 lines and the 2 guys. So we're going to make the 1 line, and then we have another line, and another line. And I'm not sure what those lines are supposed to be. Oh, they're up on top of a building. Now I remember. So they're standing up on top of a building, and Satan is telling Jesus, "Hey, I'll give you all of this stuff." And so then we have to have our Jesus up there again. So we have our Jesus standing on the top of the building. There we go. And yes, we're down here because he's standing on the building. Okay. And then we have another Jesus guy up here, and he is going to be leaning on some rocks. So we'll put our Jesus guy up here. He's going to be leaning on some rocks. Awesome. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to see, we have all these little green and red guys over here. The red guys are going to be our Pharisees, and the green guys are just going to be a bunch of people. So we're going to overlap those little people. They're going to be next to the water, so we're going to overlap them. And it'll look better later. We're going to just overlap them a little bit. And then we're going to put our little red guys in there. These are going to be our Pharisees. And there, so we're going to overlap. And then we need to have, we might as well put our water in. And it needs to be smaller up here and bigger down here, right? So we're going to do, it's going to be, and then so it starts small, and then it's going to get bigger as it comes closer to us. And we're going to put our water in. And so this is the river where Jesus is going to be baptized. We'll have John the Baptist in there baptizing Jesus. And so this message is for a kids club. So if you're going out to do a kids club, you can go onto the OAC's website and download these. All right, and we're going to put our cloud in. You see up here, we're supposed to have a cloud, and so we're going to put a cloud in up here. And we're going to make some of that cloud be blue because I messed up. Because you're not supposed to do the black first, so that's really screws up. Alright, we're going to put our clouds in up here. And cloud up here. And we have some sort of billowing down. And then we have the rocks that Jesus is like leaning on some rocks. And so we're gonna have him leaning on some rocks. There we go. And we have to put our Satan angel in here. So we're gonna give him a body. I don't know, apparently I think he's fat. I don't know about that, but just kidding, it's just how it's working out. Alright, and then we have to put his wings on. Right, so here's his wings. I don't know how they look. Maybe they look like a butterfly. And then he has to have some arms. So then we put some arms where he's sort of talking to Jesus. Alright. And we'll put some little, I don't know what these wings are going to look like. They're going to have something on them. So. Alright, and then we have to put him in down in this next one. He has to be on top of the building. He's going to be on the top of the building up here too. And this in. And we're going to have him just be one way. And have his wings go up like this. Now, because I drew it sort of strange, it's going to have to be a little different than what's on here. So that's just what will happen. Sometimes you're like, well, it's not going to be the way everything else is going to be. And we got to put our little house in here. So we put like a square. And then we got to make it the diagonal, you know what I mean? So you make it look like a box. And then we put a little house, a little door on it. And do a little, he's like showing them the world. And so apparently this is what the designer of this one thinks he sees. And then there, I guess there's a wall here. So there's a wall. It's a little up and downs. And so you're like, wow, Jen, why are you showing us this one? Because this is the one I'm teaching this week. So, 2 stones and all that. Alright, and so then we have to put another little Satan guy down here. And another little Satan guy. And there's little hands. Alright, so now we're going to put some, apparently we'll put some little stuff here and there on our little world. Cool. And now over here, we're going to have some rocks and another guy. We're going to draw that out. Alright. And we're going to draw a guy. So he's going to be, you're going to have his head, and we're going to draw his body, and we're going to draw some legs, and give him some little feet, and he's going to have an arm that comes out and goes up, and another arm that comes down by his side. Alright, and so there's our another little guy. And what they like you to do is to go around the border. And so you can move the clips on the paper. And then that way you get the whole thing covered. So that way when you put the clips down, it doesn't matter where you put the clips because it will all be covered. And then make the outside look nice. Do a little squiggle. Do a little squiggle, or sometimes they do a couple little lines. It's up to you. And then they do like a little half circle in each of the corners, and then you connect them all. There we go, and we're connecting them all. Now, since this is a kids club, I'll tell you what they do. Is they go around the neighborhood. The lady that I'm doing it with, she drives around the neighborhood because she's like 80. And so she drives around the neighborhood, she sees kids or sees parents and says, hey, we're having a kids club in 15 minutes over at the park. And you do that. And so if you're walking around, you could carry like a basketball or a baseball, basketball, football, say hey, and let them see, hey, we're going to do some fun stuff, and get the kids to come over. And then they have, some people have, oh, I have it right here. They do like, I have this great big, what is it called? It has all the colors. It's called a parachute. And then you can have, if you bring yourself a helper or two, and you can play the parachute game. And then what they do is they call the kids over and they have them do a song, and all the kids do these hand motions with the song, and they get them all excited. And then they tell them, all right, everybody's gonna sit down, and the best boy and the best girl will each get a prize. And so then I carry like a bag that has toys, that has prizes in it, and I tell them that this person's gonna be paying attention, and they're gonna give you a prize. Then I set up one of these, and this is like a hangman. And so it's like you take like a verse, part of a verse, and use it, and then you have one is for left or right or boys and girls. You can set them up into groups, and then you'll be able to go through this with the kids. And so you have whatever color you put here, then that team, you do the letters up here, and then whatever is in this team, whatever color, then you put the letters up here so you can count them out at the end. And all across the bottom here is you're going to put totally straight, you're going to do all of these letters just like that, so that as they guess them, you'll be able to put black on them and mark out the letters. Now what I do is that I find it hard to remember. I'm such a bad speller. So I write in pencil all the verses. You can see it's written in pencil here as you get close, and I don't do it too dark, but then when it's up on the board, it's this big. This right here gets made out this big with whatever verse you want to do. And then when the kids are guessing, you can see the letters, but they can't see the letters. And so I do actually do the same thing on here, because as I'm talking I get really nervous and I can't always remember how to fill in the letters. The other thing I put this on the side, sort of like right here is like my little, you can't see it, but I put it like right down here as a little cheat sheet. And the nice thing about doing these is that this is your outline. You think about when you do a speech, and if you really have practiced it, you have an outline. You just have cards with like, these are the basic things that I'm going to go over, and this is your basic outline of everything you're going to go over. So all your stuff to remember is going to be right here on your sheet. You just have to remember to fill it in. Now the one thing I can't do right now because I don't have the right paint, but you see where it is like, looks like sort of white and then black around it? That is that you use a clear crayon and then you paint over it with a black, and then it miraculously shows up. And so that is very cool. You just have to remember where they are and how big they are. And so then here we're going to use one of these. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, so then we say, here we're going to say G-O-D, God, Father. Ooh, that's not going to work, but that's okay. But you get the idea. And then my son. And then after you do that, then I can put the black on it and it'll just show right up and you'll be able to see it. So that's very cool. Awesome. Now for the letters, that is topped has dried, so we can put those in now. This is what we're going to do. So what you do is you start at this side. Now you don't close it off on the other side. You just go all the way across the top to do the top part of the box. Now we're going to use our fingers again, and so we're going to do Jesus. So we're going to do J-E-S-U and then it's going to be a space, so we add a second line there. And then is, so we're going to do I, S, and then we're going to put a bigger thing there so you can see that it's a space. And then tested. T, E, S, T, and then the ED, just mark it right in the middle because you have 2. So if you have 4, 8, then you can just, it makes it easy. Now the reason we didn't put the end on there until the very end is because if I ran out of space as I was doing this, then I could have just added more yellow and added another box at the end, or figured out how big it had to be to make it all work. Awesome. So then what we would do, what I do, and if you're brand new to this, you may want to do it too, is I don't always remember how to make the letters. So I mark in here the the letters in pencil, and the markings that I'm going to do with the paint. That way I remember. Oops, Jesus, and then is. So funny, somebody was like, "Oh, Jen, I want to see you because you're the best." Yeah, the best at trying how to figure out to remember how to do it on the fly. So you can see, I'll do a couple of the letters just so you can see. So you would start off with, you can see, start off with blocks like this, right? And then to end up with blocks like that, I just put a line and a line, right? And here I put a dot, and a little triangle. Here I put a line in and down, right? And so that's how they come out. And so I'm going to do, because the J has 2 marks, and I always have a problem with that. I'll do the J. So for the J, I'm going to do like one line here, whoops, and then one line a little bit lower, right? And all of a sudden you have a J. And then for the I just put a line across here, and now we have an I, right? And then like for an E, you just go across a line and a line, and now we have an E. And so as you're doing this, the kids are like, woo, and actually even the college students are like, woo. Sometimes the kids are like, oh, today's arts and crafts, like the students on the college campus. But you know what? It keeps their attention, and they're interested, and they stop and they listen. And the ones that we do the like IQ tests and quizzes and things like that, they get really excited. So then the other thing that they tell you to do is to outline all of these, to outline them. So that way, everything is more like, I don't know how you call it, but it makes it look better when it's all outlined. So you outline everything. Awesome. And then another thing they tell you to do is you take off as much of your paint as you can, or if you had, we probably should do it with this when we did that yellow. You take off the paint, and then you can make it look like there's like a floor underneath here, right? There's this yellow floor under there, and then we could say, oh, we're going to have the desert. And so we just color this in lightly with a brush that doesn't have much paint on it. And so then you have more color on the board. So this is our desert. And they also do, we could do like a blue sky up here, but we have him, so we wouldn't probably want to do a blue sky. Yeah, but no, here we go. We have to outline these little guys. And then I'll end this. All right, so then we do our little, outline our little guys. So you could see that they sort of overlap each other. And so it looks like you have a bunch of people standing in a crowd watching Jesus get baptized. That's what's going to happen there. All right, so you go to where you're going to have the kids club, you set all your stuff up, you send people out to go get the kids into the neighborhood, you see parents, say, hey, we're having a kids club, tell the kids, and tell them, oh, maybe you're going to do this every week at this time, at this place. We're having a kids club, prizes, games, stories. So then as the kids show up, you start either throwing footballs, or you play basketball with the kids, you play frisbee with the kids. Then you can have them do some other game. You know what I am going to do this week? I'm doing water balloons and a balloon stomp, where you tie the balloon on with a string to the kid's leg, and the kids are going to stomp it. And I'm going to do water balloon games, or you could just do a parachute is what they do. Then you do a song. I'm not going to do the song because nobody wants to hear me sing, because that's okay. I like to sing, but people have been gracious to tell me, Jen, you can't sing. So I'm like, thank you so much. So I'll make a fool of myself. But then you do like the hangman thing, the different colors. And then you do the hangman thing up on here, and it'll be underneath of here. And then you do this. And then what you do is I do another gospel. I do a gospel presentation. I have wristbands with a website on it, and I go through the gospel with the colors, and it's sort of like a mix between sharing the gospel with the colors and Way of the Master, the way that they do it is a mix. And I give the kids a card that has the gospel on it with all the colors on it, and a bracelet that has all the colors on it, so they can remember, and then maybe they can share that with others. And so I hope that this has helped you out. God bless. And you can go to OAC's website, and they have them where they've painted them up part way, and they go through and share, and you can see them actually painting it all in and filling it in. And basically the directions you go on their website, they have the directions. It tells you what to say, when to paint. It's awesome. God bless, and I hope this helps you guys.